Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12. In the local scene, the Albay Provincial Health Office is urging evacuees and facility managers to strictly maintain clean and sanitary toilets in evacuation centers to prevent the spread of diseases. Health officials stress that proper toilet use and maintenance are critical in protecting the health of families staying in crowded evacuation facilities. The office reminded evacuees to wash their hands with soap and clean water after using toilets to reduce the risk of infection. Regular cleaning, disinfection, and flushing of toilets after every use were also emphasized as essential sanitation practices. The Provincial Health Office said the provision of trash bins and sufficient water supply is necessary to support hygiene and safeguard community well-being in evacuation centers. In other story, the provincial government of Albay is pushing for the institutionalization of the Municipal Environment and Natural Resources Office to strengthen environmental governance across local government units. The initiative was discussed in a meeting led by the Environment and Natural Resources Office and presided over by Provincial Administrator Engineer Raul E. Rizal. Officials said formalizing MENRO will improve the implementation of environmental policies and enhance coordination among LGUs. The move is also expected to strengthen the province's capacity to manage natural resources and address environmental challenges. Provincial leaders emphasize that institutionalizing MENRO will support sustainable development, disaster risk reduction, and climate resilience efforts in Albay. In other news, a feeding activity was conducted at the Barrio Elementary School Evacuation Center in Kamalig, Albay to support families displaced by Mayon Volcano's Alert Level 3 situation. The activity was carried out by personnel of the Kamalig Municipal Police Station in coordination with the 31st Infantry Battalion of the 9th Infantry Division. The feeding initiative was spearheaded by 31st Infantry Battalion personnel led by Sergeant Leo C. Francisco, with support from Kamalig police officers and Regional Police Support Battalion Team Taplacon. The activity aimed to provide immediate relief and nourishment to families temporarily staying at the evacuation center due to the elevated alert level. Police personnel ensured the orderly distribution of food and maintained security to promote the safety and welfare of the evacuees. Albay Police Provincial Office Director Police Colonel Noel Donato Nunez commended the police and military units for their coordinated humanitarian efforts. The activity concluded peacefully, underscoring strong interagency cooperation in assisting affected communities in Albay. In the national scene, Department of Public Works and Highways Secretary Vince Dizon agreed with call to make public allegedly politician-endorsed infrastructure projects, but said the so-called Cabral files must first undergo a forensic audit by the Office of the Ombudsman with PNP Anti-Cybercrime Assistance. Dizon said copies of the files now circulating, including those released by Representative Leandro Leviste, have not been authenticated and were taken from the office and computer of the late Undersecretary Maria Catalina Cathy Cabral without proper authorization. He said district-level allocations are already public under the National Expenditure Program and General Appropriations Act, but the government must first verify which documents are genuine before any official release or legislative inquiry. As DPWH prepares its 2027 budget proposal, Dizon said the agency plans to end the allocable and non-allocable funding system and adapt a new framework to prioritize planned and council-endorsed projects. DPWH continues its internal review with the removal of several regional directors, assistant regional directors, and district engineers, including some who did not meet civil service qualification standards. In other story, Executive Secretary Ralph Recto said Monday that there is no planned cabinet shakeup under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s administration. Recto said speculation about a possible revamp is unhelpful and urged officials to remain focused on serving the public. He stressed that all cabinet members serve at the pleasure of the president and are subject to continuous performance review. Marcos Jr. last reshuffled his cabinet in mid-2025 after several administration-backed senatorial candidates lost in the midterm elections. The president later appointed new cabinet members following corruption allegations involving former Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin and former Budget Secretary Amina Pangandaman. In other news, the Department of Transportation DOTR said it will step up operational improvements at major transport hubs amid rising holiday passenger demand. The announcement followed data showing 5,692,840 passengers passed through the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange (PTEX) in December 2025, more than 3.4 million during the Christmas and New Year period. Total foot traffic at PTEX reached 60,281,330 in 2025, an increase of over 9.1 million commuters from 2024. Transportation Secretary Giovanni Lopez said the DOTR is committed to ensuring safe, efficient operations, including adequate buses, better security, and smoother passenger flow. Lopez also said PTEX is now connected to LRT1 and that a new EDSA busway station at the terminal is currently under construction. And in the news outside the country, Apple and Google announced a multi-year partnership on Monday that will see Apple's next-generation artificial intelligence features, including Siri, powered by Google's Gemini technology. Now, the move marks a notable shift for Apple, which has traditionally relied on in-house development, but said it chose Google after determining its AI offered the strongest foundation for future products. Despite being longtime rivals in the smartphone market, the companies have maintained a lucrative business relationship, including a controversial deal that keeps Google as the default search engine on Apple devices. The AI partnership drew criticism from Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who called it anti-competitive, while reports said Apple had also explored potential deals with OpenAI, Anthropic, and Perplexity. Analysts said the agreement boosts Google's standing in the AI race and could help Apple recover from recent delays and leadership changes that have slowed its AI rollout. In other story, a violent crackdown on protests in Iran has killed at least 648 people, according to a rights group. as authorities move to regain control with mass pro-government rallies. Iran's leadership said the rallies showed the protests had been defeated, while rights groups warned a 4-day internet blackout was hiding the true scale of deaths and arrests. The unrest is sparked by economic grievances has become one of the biggest challenges to Iran's ruling system since 1979, with thousands reported injured, about 10,000 detained. Tensions with the United States have increased, with President Donald Trump warning military options remain possible, even as Iran says it is open to talks but prepared for war. European leaders condemned the violence, considered new sanctions, and restricted Iranian diplomats, while Tehran accused foreign powers of supporting the protesters and insisted calm was returning. And finally, in the news outside the country, with reference to the Philippines, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. arrived in the United Arab Emirates late Monday for one-day working visit at the invitation of UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, highlighting the deepening bilateral ties. Marcos landed in Abu Dhabi just before midnight and was received by UAE Minister of State Saeed Al Hajiri. The main focus of the visit is the signing of a comprehensive economic partnership agreement, which will become the first free trade deal between the Philippines and the UAE. The president is also expected to sign a defense cooperation agreement aimed at strengthening defense technology and security collaboration between the two countries. Marcos will attend Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week, hold meetings with international business leaders and the Filipino community, and is the first Philippine leader to visit the UAE since 2008. And that's all for the news at 12, January 14, 2026. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. Thanks to our news writer, LJ Lurejo and Naomi Ruth Hernandez, and on the technical side, Tad Bobis, and our Provincial Information Officer, OIC Marty Gonzalez, and under the supervision of our Governor, Noel E. Rosal. I am Greg Hallare. Thank you for subscribing. Albay in my heart.